My Lords, I see that as rumours of the exciting quality of this debate have spread through the Palace of Westminster, the Moses Room was filled up with an audience keen to listen. Nonetheless, I shall endeavour to be brief in summing up. Could I thank everybody who's taken part in the debate, and could I thank Lord Berkeley for reminding me that I should, when I opened my remarks, have thanked the people who gave evidence to our committee in the course of our inquiry. And I'm pleased to do that as well. If I can briefly run through some of the key points that were made, my noble friend Lady Eaton put great importance on what is referred to as the first and last mile in transport, the getting to the hub that allows you to take part in the transport system. And I think there's more we could have said about that, actually, if we'd gone on. The noble Lord Berkeley referred to Paris and the possibility of getting road users to be more courteous to each other. And indeed, we know how to do that. We've just abandoned it in this country. We know how to do it because we learnt lessons and started to apply them from the Netherlands in relation to shared space, but then we opted for a scheme not of sharing space, but of segregating it. And if you start to segregate and allocate top-down a limited resource, which is what road space is, then inevitably you get people quarrelling about how much they've had allocated to them and about how others are interfering with their rights to their space and so forth. And in this context, Lord Carrington, my noble friend Lord Carrington of Fulham, and the noble Baroness Lady Fox of Buckley both referred to the importance of bus reliability and the fact that cycle lanes can, of course, impinge on bus reliability, and equally you could say that bus lanes could impinge on the space that might be allocated to people using bicycles. But none of this is taken into account by the government because, of course, it's all meant to be a matter of local choice. A very large number of participants in the debate, the noble Lord Shipley, the noble Lord Best, my noble friend Lord Hazelhurst, talked about the importance of joining up the planning and transport policies. I don't see why this is such a difficulty for the Minister. She has told us how much money, a very large amount of money, the government intends to allocate to local transport schemes over the next few years. Is it too much to say, because other government departments don't find it too much to say, that if you're going to have this money, you need to have an up-to-date local transport plan? And it might be one that actually coheres and shows the department that it's coherent with the local planning policies as well, for new development in particular. The noble Lord Faulkner of Worcester, for whom I have the highest admiration, was my one quibble with the contributions to the debate. He quoted a consultancy company which was critical of national and local governments for their reluctance to impose policies limiting private car use. Well, I don't know where this consultancy has been. They obviously haven't been anywhere near a low-traffic neighbourhood that's sprung on us recently, or one of the many road closure schemes that's been going on, or indeed ULEZs and things like that. And these policies are absolutely everywhere at the moment. But he did also very valuably illustrate from his own knowledge and experience, coming back to my earlier point, how development and transport working together, a classic case of joining up policies, can actually produce the right results if they are done in a coherent way. I shan't go very much further. I mean, my noble friend Lord Hazelhurst, of course, mentioned Very Light Rail, and the noble Lord Grocott rightly pointed out disparities in funding between different regions. And I'm grateful to the noble Baroness Lady Taylor of Stevenage for endorsing most, if not all, of the things that had been said in the debate by those who participated in putting forward the report. My noble friend, the Minister, has put a great deal of preparation to this. She's highly committed to transport and to public transport, and we're all very grateful to her for listening to us today and for responding on behalf of the government. I'm relieved to be able to tell her that I don't think anybody in the debate actually suggested that she run all the local transport systems in the country from her desk in Whitehall. But as I say, even so, none of that, and her very correct emphasis on local choice by locally elected authorities, none of that would stop her from insisting that transport plans are actually up to date as a condition of funding. It wouldn't stop her it wouldn't stop her from considering whether her active travel plans, which she says are entirely a matter of local choice, but obviously you won't get any money if you don't adopt them, and other consequences might flow, entirely up to you, of course, that minatory tone. It wouldn't stop her thinking, well, are these actually impinging on the reliability of buses, which would be, on the other hand, she thinks is very, very important, and so forth. So I think that we could do more. I think that the report remains still to be properly digested by the government, that many of the recommendations, and we didn't have time to discuss post-project evaluation, but that many of the recommendations made in the report still haven't been taken fully on board by the government, though I think they'd be very helpful. But with that, I have to say I beg to move again? I'm not sure. But with that, I thank everybody, and I beg to move.
The question